Hey guys, okay, it's the filming time again. Hang on, I think one more light is missing. Okay, so this is what we're gonna go again. Every 2 weeks, moving forward, we may not be able to do it that frequent, but this is what we're gonna do. We're doing live filming for my next course for FAA. So for those who are watching live, thank you for tuning in. But I totally understand that most of my audiences actually watch it. Watch the replay. So if you're watching the replay, thank you for tuning in. Now, remember, this is how we do it. We're gonna do the filming of my next course, and while I'm actually doing the filming, you get to watch it for free. And in between, I'll be answering your questions. So if you have any questions, please type in the comment section below, where I already have the bar which is going. In between, I'll be stopping to answer your questions. But if you're watching the replay, don't worry. You can still type in your questions. You can still ask away. And my team and I will be able to jump in and answer your question as and when we are able to. But this is what I realized. If you're watching it on YouTube, right, the thing is, those comments that actually you type in during the live session will go away. I have no idea why. I'm not sure whether this is a bug or something. So you probably want to make sure that you either watch it on Facebook, or you probably want to either just PM me your questions if you have any of them. So let me fill you in about this, and just quickly fill you in about what are we going to do right now. So let me hang on. So let me share this screen up. So basically, all right. So okay. So this is what we're going to do. We are actually doing this Facebook Ads Accelerator live training filming. So for those who are not familiar with Facebook Ads Accelerator, is our flagship online learning program for serious Facebook advertisers. Currently, it consists of 18 hours of Facebook Ads related courses where you totally don't want to miss. If you're serious about getting started right with Facebook advertising, this is really something that you want to look into. So this is what we're doing right now. So Facebook Ads Accelerator live training filming is a very interesting so-called initiative that we are doing, and we're going to do this for moving forward. So every new courses, because what we promise in FAA is that every month we will have new courses coming in. So we just yesterday, we just launched Facebook Ads Analytics Masterclass, which it's a 2-hour course where I teach you how do I use various data points to validate, to see whether a campaign is performing or not. It's a very interesting course. You probably want to check it out. So moving forward, all the courses will be filmed through live trainings like this. So when I'm actually doing the live training, we will live it on YouTube, Facebook page, and group, 3 places where we're going to go live. And you get to watch it for free. So the replay will be put up for 3 days. So next 3 days, and then after that, we will take it down. However, if you want to watch it further, you can actually join the Facebook group, or you can go to our website to sign up, because we will actually keep the replay up for several more days. So you guys can just come in and watch. So in between, before and after, when I'm actually doing the filming, I'll be answering your questions. So after we have done everything, we will actually put through, like last 2 weeks ago, we just completed Facebook ads for Shopee store. Altogether, we have about three and a half or close to 4 hour footages. And now we are working on the production right now. At the end of the day, I think we should be able to churn out about slightly below 2-hour kind of course. And then once we have done the production and everything, we will actually add it into the Facebook Ads Accelerator. So this is how the whole thing works. So why am I doing this? First thing first, because I can. You see, this is how we do it. For those who are familiar with my courses, right? Most of my courses are, screen walkthrough, where I teach you how to do certain things here and there. And it's me presenting to a camera like this. So since I need to do this anyway, so might as well. So you get to watch this and you get to participate. So when you're participating, when you're asking questions, you're actually helping in shaping the content. So in our last session for the Shopee store, what we really did was, we have already got a lot of people coming in and ask questions, and all those questions are being edited into the full course as well. So you're actually helping me to shape the content, because the whole idea is, you see, when we are doing all this training and courses, and especially this online program, I want to make sure that whatever I'm building is something that you want. So the best way to make sure that is, I'll just get you to get involved. And we're rolling out voting, where you get a vote for the next course to be filmed. So for those who already subscribe to my email mailing list, you will receive this notification very soon where you can partake in terms of deciding what do I do next. Okay, so please post all your comments in the, post your questions in the comment section, and I'll be jumping on it as and when I can. So this is the schedule. 3 days filming, usually it's about 3 to 4 days. So we're gonna start today. Every day is 3:30, 3:30, 3:30. So this is the part 1, where we're gonna talk about how do I design a Facebook ads campaign structure from scratch, what kind of methodology that we use, and then how do we design the advertisement for multiple tier and all this kind of thing. Why do we do that? I go into great detail in terms of explaining that. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about, since we have already set up the ad, right? Then tomorrow we're going to go through the full setup from scratch. So I'll actually walk you through step by step. How do I do all this setup inside Facebook Ads Manager? You're going to learn tremendous. I mean, it's really great learning for you because I'm really showing you how do I set up a campaign from scratch as if it's for my client. And then after that, on the 3rd day, which is on Wednesday, we're going to do the 3rd part, which is, usually we do 2 tier of advertising, cold audience and warm audience. So once we have done cold audience, the following day, I'm going to share with you how do I set up the campaign for the warm audience. So this is going to be on the 5th of August, which is on Wednesday. So this is what we're going to do. So yeah, okay. So let me jump out a little bit to see if you have got any questions for me. Remember, post your questions in the comment section. I'll be able to jump in and answer your question as and when I can. So for those who are not familiar, my name is Jason. Let me just pull out a little bit. Hi, I'm Jason. I help businesses grow their business online using effective Facebook advertising and digital marketing skills since 2010. So for the past 10 years, I've worked with over 200 brands, big and small clients alike. And since 2016, I've learned with close to 3,500 individuals, specifically on Facebook advertising. So a lot of people ask me, Jason, can you do other things? Well, I can do other things. I'm learning, always constantly learning about a lot of things such as Google advertising, email marketing, copywriting, and all this. But when it comes to teaching, I am more comfortable to teach something that I'm really, really specialized in, because frankly speaking, Facebook advertising has grown into a very complicated topic. So I wouldn't want to tell you that I can teach everything, but rather I tell you I do good in this, I do well in this, and I would like to share with you what I've learned throughout the years. So I can see quite a number of people already tuning in. Thanks for tuning in. And for those who are watching live, don't worry, you can still post your questions in the comment section. And my team and I will jump on it and answer your questions as and when we can, okay? Now, let's get back to that. So I'm gonna start teaching. So I'm just gonna add this thing to the stream. So the course is called Facebook Ads for Property Project, okay? So when I'm actually teaching, then I won't be able to see you because the whole screen is gonna go into the presentation mode. So I won't be able to see your questions. You can still leave your comment. So basically, I'll be able to jump in as and when I can. Okay, so here we go. Okay, welcome to Facebook Ads for Property Project. Now, not just for property project, if you're doing any business that requires lead generation, whether you are in insurance, you are an insurance agent, or whether you are actually running a B2B business, this course is really suitable for you. We're going to walk through how do we set up a lead generation process, because you see, when it comes to Facebook advertising, a lot of people will have their kind of misconception that this is only for probably this is only for e-commerce business, this is only for B2C businesses and all that. But Facebook works really well, and when it comes to lead generation, for the past 10 years, I just did a rough calculation the other day. We have generated close to 500,000 leads for our clients, big and small alike. So when it comes to lead generation on Facebook advertising, there are many methodologies. So I'm actually using Facebook Ads for Property Project to share with you how do I set up the whole thing. So not just property project like I mentioned, as long as your business requires leads to operate, and this could be something that will be useful for you. So we're actually breaking the course into the training into 3 parts. The first part, this is the outline that we're going to look at. So first, we're going to talk about the case study. For those who are familiar with my how to run Facebook Ads series, which is the how-to series, we usually use a very specific case studies to discuss how we set up. So you will learn really step by step how do we set up from scratch, for each and every one of the industries that we discuss. So we will have a case study that I will fill in later on, and then after that, we would usually talk about, we would usually advertise with a Facebook ads funnel. This is how we do, because this is what we have been using for the past many years. When you're advertising with a funnel, you are able to actually multiply your ROI, because when the moment you're able to really increase the conversion among your warm audiences, this is where the magic happens. So I will explain to you later on how this thing is going to work. So I'm going to discuss with you on this part, and then after that, we're going to go through several reasons why you want to advertise with a Facebook ads funnel. This is really something that is going to give you a very strong understanding about what is Facebook ads funnel and why do you want to use this. And eventually, we're going to end this part of the session with how do we design a Facebook advertisement, as in like the Facebook ads funnel, as in like the advertisements inside the Facebook ads funnel. How do we design each and every one of them? What are the factors that we take into consideration? Things that we call the audience qualifier and all this kind of thing. What are those and why should you use those? This is where we're going to go through in this part 1 training. Now, let's go into the case study. So basically, since this is what we talk about the Facebook ads for a property project. So property project, basically, we're talking about, usually you're selling a new project. Now, this is what I learned. For those real estate agent and even property developer that we have worked with, we realized that Facebook advertising works really well for new project marketing. But of course, I'm not saying that if you're selling sub-sale and all that, it may not work, but it worked. But the thing is, sub-sale, as in like the yield may not be that what do we call, the quantum may not be that big in order to offset the overall thing. And then the interest of the market towards new product is usually a lot higher. So if you are doing sub-sale, this may not be really applicable to you. And then if you're doing rental market, this will definitely not work for you. This is what we learned. If you're using Facebook ads for rental market, it's a bit challenging because, yet again, we come back to the yield, which is the quantum may not be able to justify the amount of budget that we are actually using to generate the interest coming in, because, yeah, this is how the market works. Okay, so the background here is we're actually talking about the case that we are using to discuss this course would be we're selling a service apartment. So this service apartment is just slightly below 600,000. So it's located in PJ, and then it's below 1,002 square feet. Like I said, it's a service apartment. And then after that, it's inside a mixed development, which means bottom, below the apartment, there will be some, small malls, community mall inside, and then there will be some commercial units around the area and all these kind of things. So that's why it's called a mixed development, and it's very near to MRT. So for this case, this is the case study that we're using. So basically, I'm going to share with you how do I design an advertisement for this specific kind of advertising, and then what are the things that you should consider, what are the things that you shouldn't do, and basically this is how we're going to start. So first, we want to really talk about advertising with a Facebook ads funnel. Now, when it comes to advertising with a Facebook ads funnel, a lot of people would think that, oh, okay, funnel, what do you mean by funnel? Meaning that, you're going to have different kind of advertising platform or all this kind of thing. But put it this way, when you talk about funnel, it's really about advertising with multiple Facebook ads within the Facebook environment. Now, I want to break it down to you again. Yeah, when it comes to Facebook advertising, it's not just Facebook advertising. Facebook advertising covers, of course, Facebook as the main platform, and we also have Instagram advertising. But Instagram is owned by Facebook, for those who are not sure. So these two are already two of the main so-called social media in at least the Southeast Asia region. Of course, you're talking about some other countries like China, there will be a different scenario. But when it comes to the local aspect, even the regional aspect, Facebook and Instagram still, is the most dominant social media that you really have to master to do your Facebook advertising right. So when you were talking about Facebook advertising, of course, not just Facebook, Instagram, we have other mobile apps that actually serves Facebook ads. So, if let's say, for example, if you're playing some games, for example, right? In between the game, when you're in between the stages, you probably will see some, advertisement pops up here and there. Those could be advertising. Those could be advertisement from Facebook. So this is the opportunity that you have. You are actually covering beyond Facebook, more than Facebook. In the future, we don't know whether WhatsApp will come into mix because WhatsApp is also owned by Facebook. But generally, when we talk about Facebook advertising, it covers Facebook, Instagram, and other mobile apps that also serves Facebook advertisement. So what we do here is we usually will use two-tier advertising, at least 2 ads. I'm going to share with you how do I set up a simple 2 ads funnel in this course. So basically, I've helped clients set up a 4 ad or even 6 ad funnel, but that is really something advanced. You may not want to jump towards that. At least you need to understand, why do you want to build a 2-tier advertisement, as in like the 2 simple 2 ad funnel to help you convert better. So we will have cold audience and warm audiences. Now, generally, cold audiences means those people that you believe that might be interested in your product or services, but they do not know about you yet. So this is really on the discovery base, where you want to use some mechanism to introduce your product or services more effectively to other people. And then after that, from there, you want to create the awareness and their interest, or rather we call this the intent capturing, to move them into the next advertisement, to start nurturing them. But of course, I'm not saying that the core audience, the core advertisement is purely for awareness creation. It will definitely help you generate a lot of leads already. But I'm just saying that if you are able to do this qualification right, the warm audience is going to contribute tremendously in terms of increasing your overall conversion. So I'm going to explain it to you in a more detailed way later on. So yeah. So this is how we do it, the 2-tier advertising. So basically, the whole idea is about building a journey to help decision making. Put it this way, this is something that I really want to highlight to a lot of people. You see, one of the very important key concepts that we need to get clear here is, fundamentally, if you agree with me, nobody will actually decide to buy from you the first time they see your advertisement. And likewise, nobody will actually buy from you the first time they land on your website. Because nowadays, especially after this, MCO period, right? In terms of the experience, in terms of the evolution of human behavior, in terms of the social media usage, actually we took a big leap forward, at least 3 to 5 years more advanced, as in like the accelerated evolution. You see, a lot of people don't even know how advertisement looks like on Facebook, but now after going through several months of intensive so-called digital transformation, things has changed tremendously. So basically, yeah, we all know that we can actually take a lot more steps to do fact-checking and research and all that. So basically, people are already well versed in that area. So nobody will actually buy. But when you're able to corner these people up with, with the right action and with the right funnel, and when you are able to go after the intent, you can actually increase the conversion. So this is the reason why we want to advertise with a Facebook ads funnel. Now, for those who are not familiar with Facebook ads funnel, let me go walk you through about the 4 key elements of a Facebook ads funnel. So basically, the first thing we're looking at is the intent. Now, this is what I always argue. When you're running advertisement, the first touch point, a lot of people was trying to do here is, the first touch point is to start selling. But like I say, the user behavior has shifted tremendously, especially after the past few months. So it's a lot harder for you to actually start selling at the get-go. So the first tier of advertisement is always about capturing the intent. Now let me break it down and share with you what do I mean by intent. Especially now we are using the property case here, right? Put it this way, if you're totally not interested in buying a property, okay, no matter how many times I run my ads, how I package the advertisement and how well I write the advertisement, how do I design advertisement to tell you that, oh, this is really the awesome deal that you must not miss. But if you do not have the intention to buy a property right now, you don't care, right? You won't click because there's just no intent. Likewise, if you're selling Apple AirPods, this is our last case for Shopee store, okay? If you're selling Apple AirPods and if you keep pumping to people who uses Samsung phone, Huawei phone, they won't buy because it doesn't pair with their phone, you see. So it's really important for us to understand the key concept of capturing intent. Now, when it comes to capturing intent, there are several angles to look into. First, we need to find way to qualify an intent. Now, let me give you some examples of qualifying an intent. Now, when you're using lead form, for example, for this case, we are doing the property project marketing. Now, most of the time, in the first advertisement, we're going to use lead form. Lead form means there's a form that you can create inside Facebook environment where most of the information has been pre-filled, such as the name, email address, phone numbers are already pre-filled. What people need to do here is just to click the submit button, then you can get the information. Now, when it comes to intent, opening the lead form is a very warm kind of qualification, as if they're not interested, you won't even click, right? So when you click and you land on the lead form, that means you're interested. You have the intent. So that is one intent that you want to capture. Now, the other intent that we'll be using here is we use video a lot for our core audience, for our core campaign, as in like first tier of advertisement, because video allows us to capture the intent, as in like users' consumption on the advertisement based on time spent. So let's say if you are running a 1 minute video, I mean, 1 minute video on social media, especially on Facebook and Instagram, is actually a disaster. But if you're able to capture those people who have watched your video up to 50%, that means 30 seconds. I mean, you just try to recall, other than those cute puppy, cute kitten, those kind of video, right? What kind of video you will watch up to 30 seconds? That means true love, if you agree with me. So when you're able to capture the true love, right? And then you start running another advertisement to them and tell them more about what you're actually selling, that will actually tremendously increase the chance of you capturing them as your customer. So that's the first thing that we want to talk about. We want to capture the right intent. So the next thing after the intent is we want to talk about the conversion window. Now, this is something that a lot of people kind of like ignore, especially a lot of people, even those who actually uses retargeting a lot, where they know, okay, I can capture intent, and then after that, I will retarget them with advertisement. Now, a simple retargeting, one of the so-called most commonly made mistake by those advertisers would be they did not take into calculation of the conversion window. Now, conversion window, in my opinion, this is what I call the expiration date of an intent. Now, let's put it this way. When you're interested in buying a phone, for example, when you're interested in buying an iPhone, okay, your intent or so-called your decision-making period is how long? Okay, so the conversion window is really important because you don't want to follow them for too long. If normally each person would take about 1 week or two to decide which seller would I buy the iPhone from. In fact, iPhone, now we have multiple sellers to buy from. The decision making is probably within just 3 days, maximum 1 week. So you don't want to actually follow them for too long because that will mean you're wasting budget on them. Let's say, for example, for most e-commerce transactions, the conversion window is usually below 7 days. In fact, most of the time it's actually below 72 hours. So you want to make sure that you're optimizing for those 72 hours. You want to make sure that you're actually pushing your retargeting ad or your warm audience, warm advertisement heavily on these people within the right conversion window. So that is really something that you need to find out for your business. But of course, if you're not sure about your conversion window, we have certain mechanisms to actually run certain set of advertisement. Then after that, from there, we will be able to identify, look, I think, okay, this is really 7 day, because on the day 8 onwards up to 14 day, the conversion is bad and all this kind of thing. So we have certain data checking to actually firm and verify the conversion window. But don't worry, that one, you can actually go through that because eventually now we're talking about just 2-tier advertisement. You just need to make sure that you don't run for too long. Okay, so then after that, we want to talk about exclusion. Now, exclusion is really one of the most important key to a Facebook advertising success because let me give you a very simple example. Those people who have opened the lead form, for example, if I've seen your first ad and I click and open the form, what does it mean? That simply means I've already consumed the first advertisement, right? So the first thing that you really need to do is to actually exclude these people from seeing the first ad again. You know, so that's really one of the very important key concepts that you need to wrap your mind around because it's logic. You have seen the first ad, okay, and then you have clicked. That means you have already consumed the whole thing. I should move you to the next one. And when you are seeing the next advertisement, you shouldn't see the first advertisement anymore. So that's a mechanism that you really need to learn. And then after that, of course, the next thing is we want to talk about how do we tell a story, because when we are able to capture the right intent with the right conversion window and with the right exclusion in place, we are able to run certain set of advertisement that actually further and better communicate your brand presence, your brand positioning, your product USPs more effectively. So this is really something that I want to highlight to you. For example, right, this is what we actually take. This is a snapshot from our last case, okay, which is, let's say if you're selling an iPhone. Okay, when I know that you have seen this advertisement and you have, this is our first ad, I actually capture intent by, this is a video, okay, it's a slideshow. So if you watch this video, that means you're interested in this product up to, let's say, for example, 70%, 75%, or 50%. So if you watch up to a certain percentage, I need indicate you as interested. And then after that, I will start showing you another advertisement. Why am I doing this? Because, put it this way, Most products has got more than one or even more than multiple unique selling points, which is what we call the USP. Now, when you have more than one USP, it is actually your responsibility to make sure that your audience or your potential customer is being communicated by every single one of the USP. But essentially, especially now the technology and the online era and all these things, right? The attention span of human is really short. So it's very difficult for you to confirm and make sure that everyone who comes to your website will read through the whole long copy and understand each and every one of the USPs available. It's almost impossible, put it this way. That's why the opportunity that we have here is when you're able to run ads in the funnel. You're able to communicate one key USP at a time. That's why I'll be able to run the second advertisement and tell you that, look, you can actually engrave. You can actually do this free engraving. Frankly speaking, I have a pair of iPods. I really don't know that I can engrave because I didn't buy from Apple. I bought it from someone else. If I know that I can engrave, I probably would buy from Apple because this is only available when you buy directly from Apple, you see. So that is the second USP. Now, and of course, if you're able to break it down, this is actually a deeper funnel that we're talking about. This involves 3 advertisements. You're able to tell even more because, like I said, I have a pair of AirPods, sorry. But I do not know that it can actually pair 2 AirPods to a device. Now, if I know it before I make my decision, I probably will buy 2 because I want to share my music with my girlfriend. So you see, this is really something that you're able to do totally differently with effective Facebook advertising. This is the reason why you want to build a Facebook ads funnel. Now, if you ask me further, why do we want to build a Facebook ads funnel? Now, let me actually break it down to you again. This is a very important concept that a lot of people don't really understand because you see, this is how Facebook advertising works. This is how most people think how Facebook advertising works. Okay, here it goes. First, you run one advertisement. Okay, so you run this advertisement, whether it's a slideshow video or it's a single image, you want to get people to see this product and you run this advertisement, you select all the targeting, blah, 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 right? So you run this advertisement and you're hoping that they will take the next action, which is to click and go over to your landing page and find out more about all the other USPs and all that. All right. So when they actually read through the whole long copy, which is probably like a 1,643 words, for example, all the way down, and they finally decided that, oh, I love this thing, this is true love. I click the buy button and I will become a customer. Now, this is a very simple 3-step journey of an audience. You know, when they see an advertisement, they will click to the landing page and they will become a customer. But what a lot of people don't understand is actually the process that goes in between. Now you have to pay attention well to this part because this is something that you really need to understand. Now, according to Facebook Blueprint, according to Facebook official data, okay, a person need to see your advertisement at least 2 to 3 times in 7 days to notice. Now, let me explain. This is what we do. When we are browsing Facebook, right, especially Facebook or Instagram, you know, you can actually put it. When we are browsing Facebook newsfeed, when you open up and see, oh, this is what Andrew eat for lunch, this is what Jeremiah go for holiday and all that, right? So this is what we do. When we are browsing Facebook, okay, our subconscious kicks in because most of the time we browse mindlessly. Now, when our subconscious kicks in, our subconscious is really good at one thing, which is to ignore stranger things. It's like that, right? If you see Andrew, then Andrew, your friend, right? You'll stop and take a look. But if you see something from Tribe Up Academy, I'll scroll through. You're not familiar with that. Okay? So the first round, you see this advertisement, you scroll through. Second round, you see this advertisement, you probably pause for a second more. 1 second. Then you probably capture a fraction of the information that this advertisement is trying to send you. Okay, then you scroll through again because, well, I don't care. Why would I care? I know it's an ad, right? You're paying to show me, so it's your problem. Only at the 3rd time, this is actually based on most of the cases, then you actually stay longer on the advertisement and try to read more. Then that's the time you make decision whether you want to click on it or not. So once you click on it, what will happen? Just imagine this person finally see your ad 2 to 3 times in 7 days. And finally, they stop and take a look at the advertisement. And finally, they decide that they will click. Now, let me tell you what is the normal conversion rate from view to click. I mean, from impression to click. Okay? From impression to click usually is about 1%. So to break it down, if you are able to show your ads 100,000 times, for example, you have the likelihood of getting 1,000 clicks. Pathetic, right? But that's about that. I just had a discussion with one of my, I wouldn't say it's client yet. 1% is already industrial rate, which is already on the average high. There are certain people who are seeing about 0.5%, 0.3%. So that's the thing that you really want to take a look at. Okay, so let's say we get 1% click-through rate. So 1,000 people finally decided to click. Okay, now what happened next? Over 95% of the people who click will eventually drop off. Wow, end of the world. What does it mean? They drop off not because they are not interested, which means out of these 1,000 people who decided to click after you have been reaching, showing your advertisement for 100,000 times, 1,000 people decided to click. 950 of them will definitely leave. Now, this is one thing that I really want to actually highlight to you. They leave not because they are not interested. They leave because of what? Because when on the way consuming the information, it's either they receive a call, or probably they receive a text, or probably there's something else that they need to do in real life. So we got few thousand possibilities of distractions that may come our way when it comes to consuming an advertisement. Now let me ask you. Finally, you have seen this ad 3 times, and finally you click, and then you got distracted by a call from your girlfriend. Yes. Okay. Now just try to recall, when was the last time you got distracted from seeing an advertisement and you remember to come back to where you left off? You don't. But like I always like to emphasize here, when you're able to capture the intent, you're able to follow them. That's the key. That's the key to a successful Facebook ads campaign. But a lot of people don't pay attention on this 95% of people who actually taken action but left. So this is the questions to you. Now you know that there are 900 of these 950 people who actually clicked and left. So my first question is, do you think you should actually stop showing them the first advertisement? Because these are the people who have seen your first ad at least 2 to 3 times and click, right? And should they still see the first advertisement? So that's the first question to you. Now the next question here is that for those who have seen the first ad 2 to 3 times, finally they decided to click, do you think you should actually do something to remind them? Because like I said, if there is no intent, there is no action. So this is a very important key concept that I really want to help you master. Because if you're not able to understand why you want to actually retarget these people, everything is not going to work. So let me actually give you some scenario comparison. It's really important for you to really see and feel the impact, you see. So let's say, for example, the first scenario here is that you spend 1,000 ringgit. You see, whenever we do cases, right, we're not talking about cases that spends 3,000, 5,000, or even 10,000, or even tens of thousands a month. We're just talking about a moderate spending of maybe just 1,000 or below. You see, when you're running advertisement on Facebook, right, the minimum that you need to spend is 4.25 or something. So let's round it up at 5 ringgit. So with 5 ringgit, you can run ads on Facebook already. You don't need to spend a fortune. And I always encourage people to start small. Because when you're able to start small, you find a pattern and slowly graduate grow, you have more confidence and you have more data to support your decision to grow. So let's talk about a simple 1,000 ringgit ad spend per month. Okay, so let's say you spend 1,000 ringgit and you are able to reach to actually show your ads 100,000 times, which is about 100,000 impressions. Okay, out of these 100,000 impressions, you will get 1,000 clicks. Fair, right? So now we are talking about lead generation here. So out of these 1,000 clicks, 10% converted into lead, which is about high side, but it's achievable. So 1,000 people who click, you got 100 leads, which is 10% conversion. So this is scenario 1. Now, this is where you spend 1,000 ringgit solely into one advertisement that is targeting the core audience. Now, let me give you the second scenario here. Now, the second scenario is very simple. You are spending still 1,000, okay, but you only spend 800 in targeting your core audience, which is, the tier 1. So you spend 800 ringgit, you're able to reach 80,000 people, which in turn you will get 800 clicks. Fair, right? Same 10% conversion, and you're actually getting 80 leads. Fine, you'll be telling me, Jason, are you all right? Why am I spending lesser and I get less lead? And you tell me, you're trying to show me that scenario 2 is good, right? Yes, yes. Not done yet. Actually go through. Now, you spend 800 ringgit, you get 80,000 impressions. You got 800 clicks, and you convert 10%, which is 8,000. 80 people. 80 people you converted, you got 80 leads. Now, this is the magic, because we still have 200 ringgit left, right? Now, when it comes to the 200 ringgit left, this is what we're gonna happen. Say, first, you'll be targeting, I did an error here, you'll be targeting just 720 people, because out of these 800 people who actually click, 80 of them have been converted. So you'll be targeting about 720 people, roughly about 700 people. So can you imagine if you're spending just 200 ringgit on this only 720 people who have seen your ad and click on your advertisement, but they did not submit lead, right? So this is the beautiful part coming in. So basically by spending 200 on this bunch of people, practically they'll be seeing your advertisement everywhere. They will see you multiple times as and when they log into Facebook. They will see you, when they go to Instagram, they will see you even when they're playing some mobile games and all that, because, audience network, right? So they will see you everywhere. You will be able to build that kind of impression where, wow, this brand can really spend, huh? How come this guy gets so much money to spend on me? I see his ads everywhere. First, branding, okay? Then you're able to sell with all possible USPs, because when you're able to corner these people up, you only need to spend very little to really communicate and show your ads multiple times. When you're able to show your ads multiple times, you're able to further push about what your product is, why you should take consideration of this thing and all that, right? So basically, I'm just saying if you're able to convert another 10%, if you're able to convert another 10% of the lead, which is about another 72, yeah, there's the typo here. If you're able to convert another 72, that means what? Just do comparison again. This is a scenario 1. You get 100 leads by spending 1,000 ringgit. Now this is a scenario 2. You got 80 plus 72. So you got actually 100. First case, you got 100 leads. Second case, you got 152 leads. Typo that. So just imagine with the same 1,000 spent, you actually get 50 more conversion, 50 more leads from the very simple same spending. So that's the whole idea of why we want to spend, why we want to build a Facebook ads funnel, because essentially this is how we're actually able to increase or even multiply our ROI with the exact same amount that we are spending on Facebook advertising. Remember, all my courses, all my, everything that you'll be seeing inside Facebook Ads Accelerator are actually based on the same amount that you're spending or even lesser. How can we actually achieve better result? How can we actually get more ROI? How can we actually get more leads with the same amount spent? So that's the whole idea of the Facebook ads funnel. So, okay, so let's take a break before we continue. All right, so that's a funnel thing. So far, we still have quite a number of people who are still staying here. So if you have any questions regarding this up to now, you can jump into questions. I need some water right now. So that's for those who just jump in or just join, right? What we are doing here is we are doing a filming for our next course on inside Facebook Ads Accelerator. So Facebook Ads Accelerator is an online program where we have 18 hours of content right now inside, and this is what we are doing every 2 weeks or a month. Every month we at least have 1 or 2 times of things like that, where we will go online and film our next course. So in between, I'll be able to talk to you and answer your questions. If you have questions, please type in the comment so that I'll be able to jump in and answer that. And when you're doing that, right, when we are doing this kind of interaction, you're helping me to enhance the course content as well, because I probably will add on something because of the questions that you ask. So this is where we actually break, and in between, we just completed the first part, okay, and then we're going to continue with the second part. But before that, because a lot of people still don't know what is FAA, so I probably want to run a quick introduction about Facebook Ads Accelerator. Okay, so Facebook Ads Accelerator is okay. How come it actually disappear? Right, so this is FAA. So let me quickly walk through about Facebook Ads Accelerator. For those who are not familiar, Facebook Ads Accelerator is our flagship online learning program. So I started doing this project I think I started this project in April, in the midst of an MCO, because not much can be done. So I decided to just started this project because it's really something that I always wanted to do. Why? Because for the past 4 years or so, we have been teaching. I mean, since 2016, I've taught close to more than 3,500 people specifically on Facebook advertising. And this is what I realized. Because Facebook advertising gets so complicated and technical. Okay, most of the time, in this 1 day or even 2 day, or even sometimes we do 3-day program for corporate training for our clients. Even you go through the 3-day program, right? There will definitely still a lot of missing pieces because you won't be able to absorb everything. It's too technical. Can you imagine those people who don't even know how to set up a Facebook Ads Manager, and you come in and you want to walk you through how to use Facebook Ads Manager, all the features and all that? It's very difficult. So for the longest time, I wanted to actually create an online learning library where, as and whenever you face problem when you're setting up your campaign, you can always come back and refer to specific course and understand, okay, so this is how it works. So this is what I should be doing. So, after so many months of hard work since April, finally, I can call this the most comprehensive Facebook Ads online learning platform in the market right now. It's not something that teach you just something simple and let you go. No, we're talking about, I actually pack everything I know about Facebook advertising, whether you are a beginner or whether you are some, seasoned Facebook advertiser. Trust me, you come in, there must be something new that you'll be able to learn inside. And this is a growing so-called program. Every month, we are committed to film new content to put inside FAA. So it's the most beautiful thing that I wanted to do. Basically, we have 18 hours right now, and I talk a lot about the mistakes that I make and mistakes that my students make. So combining all these mistakes, one thing that I can actually assure you is that, especially if you're not sure, if you're totally new to Facebook advertising, you just want to get started, this program is going to help you bypass a lot of learning curve. I totally will shorten your learning curve because there are so many things. You don't need to go through that anymore. You don't need to bang on this wall anymore because I tell you that, look, there's a wall. So that's the really important thing. And all the courses inside are guided by Facebook Blueprint. I'm a Facebook Blueprint certified professional since 2017. No, it's not something very prestige or something, but what we need to do is every year we need to go through recertification, as in we need to sit through the exam again to make sure that we are up to date with all the changes that Facebook have and all this. So I've been certified since 2017, so many exams gone through. So basically, when it comes to Facebook Ads Accelerator, at the moment, we have 18 hours of video content right now. We just launched a new course yesterday. I forgot to update this tag. So at the moment, we have 18 hours of content. By next month, it's going to be at least 20 hours. So more than 200 lessons inside. Basically, we have a lot of step-by-step walkthrough. Step-by-step walkthrough means how do you set up Facebook Ads Manager? How do you create ad from A, B, C, D to Z, and this? How do you set up a lead form? You have a lot of content like that, okay? And then also I have a lot of case studies. This is my way of doing this. I don't tell people what is the brand, what is the strategy and all that, but I will tell you that, look, this is a client from an e-commerce industry. I've learned this thing from this client and I really want to share with you. So these are the kind of case studies that I'll be discussing, very relevant and real cases I'm going to share with you. Okay, and then basically, you're actually learning from my 10 years experience, having managed and guided over 10 million in Facebook ad spend. A lot of things that we've gone through, you don't need to. So I'm just going to tell you what's work and what's don't, so you can actually just bypass. So the beauty of it here is that, FAA is not something that you need to set your alarm to wake up at, 9 o'clock in the morning on a specific day. Everybody have to tune in, go to the Zoom meeting, and then we go through one full day. Halfway, your kid come and interrupt, or you forgot something. Halfway, you need to go toilet, and then you forgot something, and all this kind of thing. It's not like that, okay? This is actually learn at your own pace. Everything of the 18 hours are broken into small pieces, bite-sized content. You can just learn at your own pace. Today, you feel better, then you probably go through 1 hour of content. And then tomorrow, you don't feel like doing that. Okay, it's okay. After you have learned this 1 hour content, go back and implement. And when you face problem, come back. And the best part here is we have a Facebook group. Now, this is really a very exclusive Facebook group where I, myself, and my team would definitely come back and answer all the questions that you have posted in this specific group. So you're not just learning from my past experience. You're able to tap into my brain, as in like you can ask me Facebook ads related questions and I'm going to give you, sometimes, most of the time, probably I just give you a one pointer, then you solve your problem already. Because like I said, these are all experience. So education plus experience, golden. This is what we're gonna help you in terms of doing your Facebook advertising right. So I'm just gonna share with you some cornerstone content that we have here. These are cornerstone content where it's really important so-called courses that you have to go through. First, we have 1 hour lesson, 1 hour course talking about 5 effective audience targeting techniques that we've been using for our clients' cases since 2010. Really proven techniques. You really need to learn them. And then we have another course talk about how do we design and copywriting in terms of how do we create effective ads. Now, this is what we learned from our past 10 years and managing all these more than 10 million in the Facebook ad spend, right? What worked, what didn't. Okay, we have a lot of very important pointers that you really want to really come in and learn all these lessons inside. So the other one is we have a decoding Facebook ads manager. So this is a course where it's a 3-hour course. Can you imagine? Step by step, I tell you what is this all about. So what is the bid cap like? What is the cost cap? How do you use cost cap? How do you use bid cap? Okay, so very detailed walkthrough of Facebook ads manager. You really want to go through that. And then we have this Facebook ads objective course, 2 hours, 11 objectives available. If you use the wrong objective, right, you're actually essentially starting at the wrong. Everything is gonna fall apart. So this course, I give you case studies. I teach you what is this objective, what is reach objective, what is it used for, why should you use it, why should you not use it. So this is the thing that we're gonna go through in this. Then after that, we have this messenger chatbot masterclass. It's a 4-hour class. I teach you how to set up, a chatbot from scratch using free tools. How beautiful is that? And we just launched yesterday the Facebook Ads Analytics Masterclass. It's a 2-hour masterclass where I go through 5 case studies on how do we dissect the data and find actionable metrics. Things that, okay, you tweak. Okay, so this is what we're actually seeing here. I think the CPM is too high. We need to do something to adjust. And then with all these minor adjustments, we're going to improve the campaign performance. That's what we do. Okay, then these are the so-called growing courses. We have one course that you really need to go through, understanding Facebook ads. And then we have some Q&As. So Q&A is growing because every 1 week or 2, we will have Q&A session where we will answer all your questions. And all this Q&A is going to go inside. And then we have case study discussion is going to go inside. And we have, I use a lot of templates and calculators when I'm managing my clients' campaign. So I'm going to give you all that. And we have another course to talk about how do you build a website using WordPress for free. So it's really beautiful. Not just that, we're going to have a lot of coming soon courses. We just launched this yesterday, Facebook Ads Analytics Masterclass. Go check it out for those who paid. And for those who didn't, you probably want to consider sign up. And then after that, Facebook ads for Shopee store is going to come by end of this month or next month. Okay, so this is what's going to happen. And then now we are doing property project, and we're going to do e-commerce maybe 2 weeks later or even maybe next month. And then we will do decoding Facebook Business Manager. This is something that a lot of people are asking as well. How do I use Business Manager? What is this? What is that for? And all this, right? So a lot of things are going in, and we have more monthly classes and lessons coming in. So this is what I'm actually committed to do. So every month, there must be new content going into FAA. So as long as you stay as a member, you have free access to all this content moving in the future. So this is really the Facebook Ads Accelerator. Recently, we just launched the yearly membership. Now, I don't want to go through that anymore. You can actually go to facebookads.com/FAA to find out more about that. I think the link is still at the bottom. Okay, so go take a look. Okay, now let's come back to the filming. Okay, so is there any other question? Yes, I think we have a question. Let me see. Okay, we have a question from Lutfi Latif. Okay. When will you consider to start using lookalike? Now, okay, we have a separate course talking about lookalike. Okay, basically, lookalike is a very interesting case that we have here. Lookalike means Facebook is able to group those people who look like a set of audience that you have. Okay, so basically, you can use it for co-audience, which is fine. But we're not discussing over here. But we have a very in-depth discussion about lookalike audience inside FAA. You probably want to go into that, but we're not discussing about lookalike, this part. Okay, so Lutfi. What should I call you, Lutfi or Latif? Thanks for the question anyway. Okay. So we're gonna roll. We have a bit left, and we're just gonna go in and wrap it and on this part. Okay, let me see, where are we right now? Facebook ads funnel. Okay. Okay, so this is where we're gonna go in. So I'm gonna jump back into the filming. If you have any questions, you can still type into the comment section, and we're gonna wrap this, and we can have another round of answering your questions moving in. Okay, now let's go. So why again do you want to run a Facebook ads funnel? Remember, when you're able to convert those people who are ready to buy, those people who actually qualify with intent, you are able to almost double your return on advertising spend. Imagine based on the case just now, with the same 1,000 spend, you get 100 leads. If you're spending like what we are doing in the Facebook ads funnel, you're able to get up to 150 or more leads coming in. So that's the most beautiful scenario here. And the best part is, when you're able to establish this funnel, the funnel can actually go evergreen. It's a structure that you can keep. You just need to change, let's say from time to time, you have different promotion. You just change the creative, or you just change the call to action, or you just change the write-up. Things can be just changed within the same skeleton, and the whole thing can move a long way. The longest campaign that we have run was a 9-month-long campaign without changing a single creative or anything. So when you're able to do that, this is what we're going to do, because when your inclusion and exclusion are being done right, especially your top tier advertisement, it's always going out to reach fresh audience for you. So this is the evergreen campaign state that we want to achieve. So this is the thing. Okay, and then when you're able to run ads inside Facebook ads funnel, when you're able to optimize it, you're also able to reduce budget rates, because like the questions that I asked you just now, those who have seen your ad and taken action, which is clicked, they shouldn't see the first ad anymore, right? And then for those who have seen and taken action, they should start seeing the next advertisement, but not for forever. You want to put a limit there for 7 days, for 14 days. When you're able to do this kind of limitation, okay, you are making sure that you won't show your advertisement more than, let's say, if you do the second tier for 7 days, you won't show your advertisement for more than 7 days altogether. So this is it. After you go through this process, you go out, okay, and then basically you bring new people into the funnel again, and repeat and repeat. So this is what we call the evergreen Facebook ads funnel. So this is what we want to achieve for your business. Okay, so when you're able to do that, you're making sure also that you are able to achieve the digital branding. One of the questions a lot of people ask me, especially those bigger brands, they say, Jason, I'm selling this product. I got so many USPs. How do I do digital branding to make sure that every one of my audience sees all the USP? This is not as simple as you just keep posting different USP in your Facebook page every day, and then people will just see it in sequence. No. I probably will be seeing whatever you have posted one week ago, not what you posted just now. So if you want to do this kind of sequence messaging, if you want to make sure that everyone sees every single one of the messages in sequence, this is the only way that you can do this. Facebook ads funnel is the most effective way for you to achieve digital branding, because when you're able to build a funnel up to maybe even 6 ads down or even 10 ads down, you're making sure that every one of the audience are very much related. You can even tell a story like that. So this is what we do. This is why we want to do Facebook ads funnel in the first place. So back to the case that we are discussing right now. Now we are talking about how do we set up a Facebook ads for a property project. Now remember again, let's come back to the case study here. The case here is we are selling a service apartment, which is 600,000 ringgit and below, and then it's near MRT. It's a mixed development. It's below 1,002 square feet. So it has got all the facilities inside. So when we are designing the Facebook ads funnel, so let me walk you through how do we design the Facebook ads funnel. First thing first, okay, like I always mentioned, this is a 2-tier advertising. So the first tier of advertising is to go out to the cold audience and capture intent. Now, whether you want to use lookalike audience, I'm fine. If you already have strong data, remember, if you want to use lookalike audience, certain people ask me about lookalike audience. If you want to use lookalike audience, you have to make sure that the seed audience that you're using is of high quality seed audience. So you don't want to capture those people who like your page and then you create a lookalike for that. To me, it means nothing. You want to create your lookalike based on something of high quality, such as people who have submitted lead, yes. Okay, people who have given you their phone number and all this kind of thing, people who have signed up on your website and all that, yes. But the seed audience that you're using to create a lookalike audience must be more than 1,000 people. If you create a custom audience inside your ads manager and then it shows that below 1,000, that's not a good quality of seed audience to create lookalike audience. Because if you don't have 1,000 going into the sample, it's almost impossible to create quality lookalike audience, because it's just simply not enough data inside here for Facebook to find people who look like this group of people. So that's why we learned 1,000 is the minimum and maximum is 75,000. So let's talk about 1,000. Minimum, you need to have 1,000. So remember, you want to use high quality audience to create a lookalike, and then you need to have 1,000 minimum. So basically, for this case that we're talking about, we're going to use just cold audience because, frankly speaking, lookalike and cold audience, yes, sometimes lookalike can actually perform so much better than normal cold audience, but that's only provided when you have all these two criteria in place: high quality audience and enough number. So when you're totally starting fresh, you want to look at how do we find the right cold audience. So this is what we're going to discuss in this case study. So the cold audience advertising, the first advertisement that goes out, the tier 1 advertisement is always about capturing intent. So once you have captured intent, then we will actually use the intent to actually retarget them with the second advertisement, which is the warm audience. So the warm audience is to help you increase conversion. Remember, the tier 1 advertisement is already going out to capture lead, which is in this case, we are doing lead generation. It will definitely help you generate result already. But what we're saying here is that the tier 2 advertisement is going to help you increase your conversion overall and reduce your cost overall. So this is what we're going to do. Okay, then this is the advertising direction, because this is property project. In most property project, of course, we want to do lead generation. You can't do, it's not e-commerce anyway. So you need the information first. So remember, that also applies to businesses like insurance agent, your B2B business. You're not able to get people to buy insurance online. You need to actually meet them first, try to understand their need, and try to actually tailor something that fits their needs. So that's the process that we need to go through. So lead generation, but when it comes to lead generation, Facebook, there are 3 methods of lead generation. In fact, 1, 2, 3, 4 in fact. Of course, it's up to you to imagine. First one is the normal lead form. So that's what we're going to go through. And then the other one is messenger lead generation, whereby you can actually use the messenger conversation to capture lead, as in they can just give you the phone number right away by clicking a button, then you get the data. So this is the second type. The third type is, this happens to most of my clients, especially using a warm audience. They find it useful to drive people to WhatsApp conversation. So that's also one thing. And the last one is to drive people to a landing page to submit lead. Now, this is what we actually find out. After the MCO, the landing page method seems to be working better and better because, like I said, it's the evolution. The MCO period actually accelerated the evolution or the transformation of digital behavior tremendously. Those people who don't even know how an advertisement look like, they already know how to avoid advertisement at this point of time. So people actually change tremendously. So in a way, right, after going through several lead form and all these kind of other methods, people find it more secure when they are able to go to a proper website and read through everything, then only they give you their phone number. So we realize this is actually kind of like coming up among the cases that we are managing right now. So it's really work. So here, the tier 1 advertisement, we're going to use slideshow. Remember the reason why we use slideshow. Because we want to create a slideshow and we want to capture people based on the time spent on that advertisement. So why do we want to do that? Because we want to know those people, how many people who have actually watched the video up to 50%, for example. And then we want to move them to the next one. So when you're using slideshow and a lead form, okay, we have 2 audience qualifier here then. First, people who actually watch the slideshow up to a certain percentage. Second, people who have opened the lead form or people who have opened and submitted the lead form. So there are different usage. Tomorrow, I can't say tomorrow, cut this part. In the next part, we're going to go through how do we set up each and every one of this, okay? And then you have a better idea on how to set up. We will also go through, in the next part, we're going to also go through how do we set up an effective lead form that helps you to eliminate those, kind of like junk leads that you don't want, okay? So this is the tier 1 advertisement. Then once we have captured the intent, once we know that, oh, you have opened the lead form or you have watched the video up to a certain percentage, we want to show you the tier 2 advertisement, which we're going to use carousel plus messages. So what we're going to do here is we want to drive you to the messenger because this is what we assume. If you open the lead form and you refuse to submit, probably you have this kind of fear or cautious about submitting lead in that way. So I want to show you a different manner, a different way of giving me your information. So chances you might get better conversion over here. So this is why we use 2 sets of different action to capture lead. We are using 2 methods. over here. So this is a really simple 2 advertisement with 7-day conversion window, which means if you have watched the video, I mean as in like the slideshow, or you open the lead form, you only see tier 2 advertisement for 7 days. And then after that, if you still don't submit lead, you go out. Okay, so basically, so this is the Facebook ads funnel that we are designing for this case that we are discussing, Facebook ads for property project. So in the next section, in the next chapter, we're gonna go through how do we set up tier 1 advertisement. Okay, so yeah, so this is just to tell you what's gonna happen tomorrow. But before that, okay, I don't see any questions coming in. Okay, remember if you're watching the replay, you can still post the question. So this is what we're gonna do tomorrow, okay, which is part 2. Tomorrow, same time, 3:30, we're gonna come live and we're gonna do this together. So tomorrow we're gonna talk about how do we design an ad. I'm gonna show you what kind of design that I'll be using. How do I design an ad? How do I create a slideshow? And then after that, we're gonna talk about how do we target the audience. I'm using narrow detail targeting, which is one of the targeting technique that we've been using all the time. It's very powerful. And then what's the right audience size? Do we create slideshow, and how do we create a lead form the right way? So this is what we're gonna do tomorrow, which is chapter 2, part 2. Okay, so I think that's it. We will wrap today. Basically, this live will be the replay of this will be kept on the page or everywhere for 3 days, and then 3 days later we're gonna keep it in our website. Basically, yeah, you can still watch it for several days, but you need to opt in to watch the video later on. So remember, if you're watching the replay, you can still ask questions. Any questions, my team and I will jump in and answer your questions. And tomorrow, we're going to go through this second part together. So that pretty much is a wrap. Since I don't have many questions coming in, we just end this broadcast. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll see you tomorrow.